Back to Talk Music, where the Mutton Birds will soon be performing, and in celebration of their chart-topping single, we've got some vintage Blondie great on the way, plus an Iron Maiden news update.
But first, this year is the 25th anniversary of Rick Wakeman's extravagant production journey to the centre of the Earth. And having got there, he's since discovered that it's possible to get a return ticket. And so, a quarter of a century later, he's on his way back, mob-handed this time with Bonnie Tyler, Ozzy Osbourne, Justin Hayward and Katrina of the Waves, all firmly on board, and even the unmistakable Patrick Stewart of Star Trek as narrator. Now, the project is called Return to the Centre of the Earth, and VH1 cornered the intrepid traveller to discover the thinking behind this latest package tour.
Three geologian explorers traversed land and sea before they reached the mass of volcanic tufa known as Iceland. Veiled in secrecy, their purpose: to emulate the journey that had been taken by their forefathers 200 years previous. On reaching the tabletop summit, they slowly descended into the crater of Sneffelsjökull, and so began the return to the center of the Earth.
I've always had this urge to redo something fantastic, well, I say fantastic, something big scale with orchestras and choirs again, because whereas when I did it before, technology really meant that you had all the ingredients, but you couldn't really actually mix them together properly. But with the aid of computer mixing, you can actually put 96 tracks on, and you don't have to have 96 fingers. You can do it bit by bit and get the computer to help you mix so that everything comes through really clearly, so it does become one overall thing.
After successfully negotiating the avenue of prismed light, they reached the staircase. Carefully, they began the slow descent into the ever-darkening chasm. As tiredness took hold, the weary travelers found shelter within a recess that nature had carved out of the rock wall as if awaiting their arrival.
I thought, well, I'll try and put myself in the shoes of Jules Verne. And I got various translations of the book again and sat down and reading them, looking for a point that I could scoot off onto new adventures. What I did do, I did try and write it as if I was Jules Verne thinking it, so I wrote it in the style that he would write it.
Immediately, they were faced with a network of caves, one of which appeared to exude minute traces of natural light. Selecting this route, they found themselves stepping through a walled gallery of hieroglyphic art.
When Patrick Stewart came on board, and he's such a wordsmith, I rewrote the narratives again as if they were specifically for him. I went over to Hollywood to film him. He was the most charming man. I actually only had him booked for 2 hours and he stayed the whole day. I was looking for voices that were distinctive, that when you came, that were descriptive of that part of the story as well.
And I loved it. So I mean, it's completely different music. It's the kind of music you would listen to in the house, yeah, or in your car. I mean, you wouldn't hear it in a club, for instance. We do this kind of music. But if you're a music lover, that's where the audience is.
Rick was saying, I'm making a new album now, and I'm looking for one more chick singer, and I need a big ballsy voice.
Hold on tight for the ride of your life starts now.
I've never believed in doing anything that you can't do live, and this has to be done live. Roger Dean's going to do all the staging and everything for it. And I'm really pleased to say that everybody who's taken part, this includes the London Symphony Orchestra, includes Patrick Stewart and the English Chamber Choir, they all want to be involved and are happy to alter around schedules just to take part, which is fantastic.
So ended the return to the center of the Earth.
You have to admire the man, Rick Wakeman, firmly ensconced once again at the centre of the Earth.
Now, you can't keep a good woman